Okay, so YCS Chicago, 2019. We weren't able to go, but top 32. Very diverse, very interesting. A lot of Sky Striker, a lot of Thunder Dragon.
Yep.
Notably absent Altergeist, but we'll get to that. But like 10 other decks. 10 other decks. Crusadia, Subterrors, Cyber Dragons, Pendulum Magicians, ABCs.
Pendulum Magicians.
So clearly,
danger.
Things are right.
Cosmo?
Things are diverse in this top 32. It looks like this format's diverse. Is it diverse though?
I mean, I was gonna say I think that it is diverse. Now, granted, I feel like, of course, by the next 2 weeks, I feel like it'll flesh out a little bit more as far as what the quote unquote top decks are. But I do feel like this is much more diverse than the last two formats that we've had. Actually, my personal opinion. I played enough Sky Strikers, Thunder Dragons, and full power Pendulum Magicians and all this just to be done with that. Just to be honest with you. So
I mean, Lunalights won.
Lunalights won, and people want to say Lunalights, but if you actually look at the profile, there was way more Lunalights than there were other cards, and I was very appreciative of that because a lot of people get a lot of flack for saying that this deck was Zombie Lightsworn, but you only play 2 Lightsworn monsters, so you can't be called a Lightsworn deck. This deck played majority Lunalight monsters and support cards, so I honestly feel like it was a Lunalight deck. Now it had dangers in it, but I won't call it Lunalight. I would actually call it just Lunalight because it was majorly Lunalights. It really was.
Kind of like how Goki's won, but they didn't use the Goki links.
That's true.
But
we do that anyway.
I'm still skeptical about it though, only because it's kind of like a knee-jerk. A ban list just came out.
Yeah.
People are trying a bunch of new things.
Early format.
People
They
threw
didn't bring
everything out there.
I agree.
Just to see.
It's kind of like Prank Kills. When Prank Kills was at YCS, I think Prank Kills is a good solid deck, but at the same time, I don't think it was that good to just pile all the way to the finals of YCS. But it was a new deck. People were not prepared for it, and that works in anybody's favor at any time. That's also another reason why I don't think that Dangers should be hit, because Dangers have allowed other decks to become part of the game, and it's made it more diverse. That's my point on that, but.
So Dangers actually allow other decks to come.
Dangers have allowed other decks to come, because I mean, I'm not saying other decks could not compete, without them, but I'm saying just the inclusion of them has shown that it's given them a higher ceiling than they possibly could have had without them.
All right, Larry and Alec, then you guys are the casuals. So does seeing these results make events seem more enticing for a player who wants to get into competitive play? Because normally a big argument people have is like, I don't want to go to this event. Everyone's going to be running the same thing.
Exactly.
Does seeing 10 or 12 different decks, one of which you surely must have been interested in, does this make like events seem more appealing?
For me, it does. Just because, well, I'm sure for everybody else it should. I think it should too, because like as Trell said, the meta isn't defined yet. Now, I'm sure it will be. I'm sure by YCS Atlanta we'll know what's good is right now, what's not. But it does allow for those who want Subterrors.
Right.
What else? I'm sorry. Give me just a second.
Yeah, there's everything.
Crusadia.
Even Lunalights was
winning.
Lunalights.
Yeah, Lunalights. Yeah.
Because it gives them to say, well, I can take my insert random deck here, and you don't know how it might do good, just because people are still testing out how this new ban list works, what works with certain stuff, what doesn't work, what I gotta put in now because I can't run Soul Charge, what I gotta take out because I can't run Soul Charge.
I want to be cynical about it,
sure,
but even I, seeing that many decks in top cut, it's like, maybe my Cosmos can make it. Maybe I don't have to. Maybe I'm gonna worry about like Altergeist as much anymore, or I can just show up with my Cosmos and they will be just as confused as I will be.
So conspicuously absent is Altergeist. What happened there?
Altergeist has never been good.
I mean,
to me.
it's
I'm sorry.
So because here's the thing, right?
Has never been good.
Thunder Dragons get this hit, sort of. These Dark Warrior decks sort of get hit. Altergeist, no hits. Why can't it even get one spot? I mean, is that just, did it get rogued out?
I think they switched decks. I think they were all like, ooh, a new format, let me try something different. These boring decks.
True Dracos were also not there. And True Dracos, to me, are just bigger Altergeists to an extent, because Altergeists are really tiny monsters that don't do anything besides their back row. And then you got True Dracos, the exact same thing. Those monsters don't do anything besides their back row. And I personally have never been a huge fan of like a lot of back row decks anyway. I mean, Sky Strikers is his own thing, let's just be honest. But these decks require a type of setup that they cannot. Every deck that you guys have seen in the top has been combo decks, right? To be honest.
Yeah.
And typically against a control deck, where control decks can put in floodgates and blah blah blah, control decks typically have the upper hand because they can put in these floodgates and these things that stoppish. But combo decks nowadays, especially, they are coming at you every full force. Like I literally have gotten through 4 different negates in one turn and still made an entire board with my deck before because I'm not slowed down by it. I'm also with a control deck. They're very they're cliche. I mean, they're predictable. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's one of those type of things where
either you have the setup or you don't.
Exactly.
You can't really.
They also
it doesn't have room for maneuver. You can't.
Like you're gonna make this move no matter what,
yeah.
and also they can't really play going second as well. Now, granted, I'm not saying that they all just lost a die roll game 1 and lost, but at the same time, we need combo pieces, but we've already established that this game is pretty much 1,000 extenders as it is. Whereas we need combo pieces, they need things to protect them because they don't really do combos. They do 1-for-1 type. I'm gonna probably do Alec for this, get this, set this. I'm gonna set 3, you're a go. That doesn't really get them anywhere. You see what I'm saying? Like they're not really advancing their game state in any form or fashion. Every deck that is topped has found some way to advance their game state. And even with the Subterrors was Guru control. Every time, even on your opponent's turn, you are advancing your game state. Like I read every feature match, and like every time he made a play, he advanced his game state some kind of way.
I have an opinion about like True Draco and Alta guys that those types of decks, they do better in formats with less decks. They like not these almost monolithic formats.
That's true.
They plan for 1 or 2 matchups. It's lets them side easy, and those decks tend to do very well.
Yeah.
I think because this was a very diverse tournament, that Alter guys just kind of
got overwhelmed.
They're being hit by all kinds of stuff.
Yeah,
like
you don't know where it's coming from. Exactly. Exactly. And I agree with him. These last 2 formats, like I said, there have been a top quote unquote 3 or 4, maybe we'll say 4 slightly, but like a top 3 decks. And to be honest, True Dracos wasn't even really one of those top decks. But like he said, you knew what to sign for, what to prepare for.
So what else moving forward do we expect to see join the ranks? Like what other decks could top that haven't? Or do you guys
Trains.
Feel like we've already seen this deck?
I just feel like trains have so much potential.
Their time will come.
Yeah, I feel like Randy, we're gonna get Kaiser Coliseum back. Then there's gonna be some stuff going on. But I do feel like
Shut-offs.
I'm working on it.
No, I know Salamangreats.
Tell them.
Salamangreats are about to enter the picture. Does that good, bad? I can't say I've read too much into
I'm all
it.
about adding other heavy hitters to a format as long as, like I said, it doesn't trim down to where you knock everything else off. Because the thing that happens when another deck comes out and people find it to be good, they flock to it and they forget a lot of things. That's how a lot of meta calls are made and decks win.
Yeah.
Because they find another deck, this deck's good, and everybody flocks to it. So it's a huge number of playing this deck, and then you find out the huge flaw that somebody's able to exploit, and then they win the entire YCS. So and that's my fear of it. But I think Silent Grace, when they get all their stuff, will be a good deck. But I don't feel like it'll be the best deck. So I don't feel like people should be dropping other decks for it because that deck has so many flaws. It's just pretty obvious. But
I think Necros will take a win event sometime.
Like a full event,
or like a regional,
a good,
like not a YCS
ritual deck.
Like
we gotta have good ritual monsters.
I feel Necros can.
We gotta have good ritual monsters.
They can win a regional.
I feel like Necros could win the regional.
I feel like we'll hear that sometime.
Incantations are amazing cards. I'm not even a huge ritual fan, but I love Incantations. Just put that out there, and I like Necros too. But
if you think about Incantations, they make rituals into a combo a combo deck. Rituals were never really combo-y. Necros was close to ever got to it. But Incantations are like, yeah, we search, we special, we do all that. We combo too.
And they also it has a control factor too. I agree. I like that a lot.
So far we like where the format is going.
Personally,
is this
yes.
better or worse than last year overall?
I
think it's better.
It has to feel
no FTKs in the top 32.
Yeah.
No FTKs in top 32.
So it looks good?
I will put on my badge and my gun and I'll come find you.
The FTK players?
Oh,
yes.
oh no.
I gotta go.
That's not. Nope. You stay right here.